This is the tutorial for section 4 of chapter 2, solving equations with variables on both sides. This is day number 1. So we're going to end up with 2 days, so I'll go ahead and write that in there. Day 1. So here we've got variables on both sides of the equation. So the way we solve this is we bring constants to one side of the equal sign. It doesn't matter which side we bring them to. So now I've got 20 minus 9y equals 16y. So from this point I'll go ahead and add the 9y to both sides, and that leaves me with 20 equals 25y. So when I go ahead and divide by 25, I can just take out a common factor of 5 from both the top and the bottom of the fraction, and I'm left with a fraction, a reduced fraction, 4/5. So looking at the next one, here I brought the y's to the right-hand side, but I could bring them to the left-hand side, the variable term that is. So this time I'll go ahead and add the 7m to both sides. So that leaves me with 22m plus 22 equals 18. So if I do that, I've got to bring the constant to the right side. So I have to bring it to the opposite side of the equal sign, so I'm left with 22m equals 4, and that's negative 4 at that. So from this point, all I have to do is divide by 22. So when I do that, I can take out the common factor of 2. That leaves me with negative 2 over 11. So looking at this next problem here, and again, if I was to check my solution, all I'm doing is substituting the number into the variable, and it should give me an identity, is what we end up seeing. So here we're going to go ahead and solve this equation, and we'll check our solution, see if it makes sense. So it says Shirley is going to have an exterior of her house painted. Tim's painting costs $250 plus $14 an hour. Colorful charges $22 an hour. How many hours would the job need to take for Tim's painting to be the better deal? So what we want to do is we want to set two painting companies' prices equal to one another. So we're going to do Tim's, and we're going to set that equal to, let's see here, the other one was Colorful. And so let's try to write an equation for Tim. Tim's equation is this: $250, that's his base charge, plus $14 every hour. So I'm using H equals the number of hours. So from this point, I'll set that equal to Colorful, and they don't have the base charge. They have $22 an hour. So you can see Tim is more expensive to start with because he charges this $250, but he charges less per hour. So eventually he'll be cheaper. So we're going to find out how long it's going to take. We're going to subtract that 14h from both sides, and that leaves me with 8h equals 250. So we go ahead and do that division, 8 into the 250, and find out how many times that is. And so when we go ahead and check that answer, 250 divided by 8, that gives me 31 25/100ths. So it's going to take quite a few hours for that to happen. So again, we see that that took 31 25/100ths of an hours for that to for Tim to end up charging less. So since we're dealing with whole number hours, it says how many hours would that need to be, we go ahead and round that up. Let's say 25/100ths of an hour, he charges that extra hour, so we'll say 32 hours until Tim ends up being the better deals, because at this time they're exactly the same. So 31 hours, we'd still go with Colorful, but at 32 hours, that's when Tim's going to be a little bit less expensive. So those are the types of problems we'll see on tonight's assignment. Good luck.